Hi, so this is the first of the videos that I'm going to share with you, which is just really simple, gentle belly breathing. Belly breathing is helpful to get us into a sense of calm. When you are familiar with this, then it forms the foundation for the way that you'll breathe in most of the other techniques as well. So when we're stressed, we tend to breathe from up here, from our chest. Very shallow, very high. And what's happening when we're doing that is it stops our breath from reaching the bottom of our lungs and from calming the system down. And there's a really good reason for this. It's all to do with our fight and flight reaction, which was designed way back when we were primitive man to kind of keep us safe and to allow us to run away from any threats that were coming towards us, or to stand and fight them. And so when we feel under stress or under pressure, we breathe from up here, and blood runs around our body, our heartbeat races that little bit faster so that we're ready to fight or fly. And what it does as well is it keeps us in a sense of anxiety and panic. So in the same way that when we're panicked and we're stressed, we breathe from here. When we breathe from here, it's telling our brains that we're panicked and we're stressed. So what we want to do is start moving our breath from up here right down to our bellies. And if you think about it, if you've ever watched a baby sleep at night, you'll see that babies tend to be fairly steady up here and the breath in and out through their bodies, through their bellies. So this is what we want to bring you back to. So the easiest way to start and to do this is lying down, but for the purposes of demonstration, I'll do it seated. If you're lying down, just lie flat on your back, somewhere comfortable. Your head, not too raised, so ideally a nice straight line going from the top of your spine right down to your feet, so legs nice and straight. If you're doing it seated, then make sure that you're seated in a nice comfortable position and that both of your legs are firmly, both of your feet are firmly planted on the floor. So your legs aren't crossed, they're uncrossed, your feet planted firmly on the floor, so that you're giving yourself a really good root, a really good foundation. And then I want you to start by placing one hand on your chest and the other hand on your belly. And this is going to give you this kind of physical connection, first of all to your body, but also to your breath. So you start not by breathing in and out through your belly, but actually we're going to start by breathing in through our nose and then taking a couple of big deep breaths out through our mouth. And these are cleansing, cooling breaths, which just start to calm the nervous system down. So breathing in and out. One more like that. And out. And a final one in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just noticing as you were doing that whether one or both of your hands was moving more. So was your hand at the top of your chest moving while this one stayed pretty steady, or was your belly moving in and out while your hand on the top stayed pretty still? So for now, simply noticing which of those hands was doing what. And then we're going to start by breathing in and out through our nose for a count of 4. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4. Continuing to do that, and if you haven't already closed your eyes, closing your eyes. And in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. And now as you continue to breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4 in your own time, what I want you to do is to try and keep the hand that's on your chest as still, as steady as possible, so it's not moving up and down, whereas your hand on your belly is moving in and out, up and down through your breath. So continuing this breath in for 4 and out for 4. Don't get distracted from that. Keeping breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, pushing gently and softly that breath from the top of your lungs into the bottom, so that your top hand stays steady while your bottom hand moves in and out. Yeah. And it may feel a little bit awkward the first time that you do this, and that's completely natural. The more that you do it, the more that you practice, the easier it'll become. And then continuing to breathe like this, in and out. In through your nose and out through your nose. For 5 minutes to start with, working up to 10. And maybe, if you can, getting to 15. When you come to the end of your 10 minutes or your 15 minutes or however long it is, before you open your eyes, just releasing your body from your hands. Noticing your breath. Maybe putting a little bit of movement into your fingers. Moving your shoulders a little bit, giving your back a nice soft gentle stretch. Coming back into your body, noticing the sounds around you, any smells, anything that brings you back into the space, and opening your eyes. Okay, so I hope that was useful. The idea is that you watch this video a couple of times, you practice in your own time. I find it really helpful to set a timer on my phone for the end of the 10 minutes or the 15 minutes or however long I'm going for, so that I'm not wondering how long it's been and I'm not tempted to check my phone or check the clock. So it can be a really handy thing to do. And as I said, just give this a go. If it feels a bit weird or a bit uncomfortable at first, that's totally normal. It'll come back to you and it'll be really, really helpful. The great thing as well about belly breathing is it's something that you can do in the moment. So if you're on a tube, if you're on a train, you don't need to keep your eyes closed, but if you can, then go for it. Even if you're in a meeting at work and somebody's really testing you or pushing your buttons, then just noticing as much as you can, directing that breath from up here down to here is going to send messages to you that actually it's okay. I'm in control of this situation, there's nothing to fear. And when we're in a state of that, as opposed to the opposite, that can only be a good thing. Okay, so hope this was useful, and I'll be back again for another one.